Hey, what's going on, Miami Dolphins fans? Welcome back to the Fins Up Network. We have hit the 7th day of on-field workouts for Miami Dolphins training camp. We've got some videos from today's action at camp that we will get to. Some more from Erik Ezukanma, some videos from Tua, some videos from Waddle. We will get to all of that, but first, let's jump into today's availability update because Tyreek Hill got his day off. Well-deserved. Guy's been rocking the orange jersey. He's been making splash plays every single day at practice. He got the day off. Chase Edmonds gets the day off. Michael Dieter, John Lovett still out with injuries. And something to note here, Terron Armstead given his second straight day off in a row. So probably nothing too major to look into there, but given his injury history in the past, something to monitor, getting 2 straight days off. Well, let's get back into some Tua because the orange jersey update, Tua got it after his performance in Tuesday's practice. Today he was good, wasn't spectacular. We're going to get into a couple more of those details as we go through this right here, but he did have a 40-yard touchdown to River Craycraft. He hit Braylon Sanders out a 30-yard sideline catch. He had a 45-yard touchdown connection to Tanner Conner, and Conner actually added another long completion down the sideline from Teddy Bridgewater, resulting in his best day in camp. And if Tanner Conner, if that name doesn't ring a bell to you, no, I have not done a player profile on him yet. I've got to get on that. But he was a wide receiver at Idaho State. He's 6'3", 230. He ran in the 4.3s. So he's converting now to tight end to try to make it at the next level, battling for that roster spot, but making a strong case today, if not for a roster spot on the final 53, at least for a shot on the team's practice squad. But back to Tua, unofficially 10 of 16 during team drills today. Also had a late practice red zone touchdown to Jaylen Waddle. Also a couple instances, though, where he held onto the ball a little bit too long, took some sacks. We're going to get into those sacks a little bit longer here because that was another story of the day. But let's talk about Erik Ezukanma. I previewed him right away in the beginning. 4 more catches in team drills today, continuing to flash. And I talked about this in the past. With rookies, I want to see flashes. That's usually the main thing I want to see. Just especially a 3rd, 4th round rookie, I want to see flashes. Well, Erik Ezukanma has turned these flashes into consistency. When you're flashing this much every single day, when you have guys like Tyreek and Waddle and Gesicki as well, you might be onto something a little bit there. And he now has that firm grasp on those wide receiver 4 duties. And we actually have video of one of his catches today. I'll probably end up showing it twice. It's a little quick here. There might be a little bit of grainy footage. I was able to pull this off of Twitter. But when I show you to you the second time, now that you kind of see what's going to happen here, watch the savvy veteran play that he does. He's running full speed. He kind of slows down a little bit and gets that defender on his back. And then he's able to accelerate and get that arm out, essentially boxing out the defender, but making it damn near like impossible to defend that play without interfering with the guy. That's a veteran savvy play that we're seeing from a 4th round rookie. And I know I was critical of the pick. I wanted Zach Tom. I wanted an offensive lineman. But it's days like today, it's practices like today where it's like, you know what? The general manager, the coaches, they have those jobs for a reason. And now we just got to believe we take it in, we analyze it, and hey, he's flashing, he's playing consistency, grasp on the wide receiver 4 duties, more power to him. Speaking of quarterbacks, though, Teddy Bridgewater reportedly with his best day of camp, unofficially went 7 of 10, had a deep touchdown to Braylon Sanders, 2 more touchdowns in a red zone work. But let's talk about some tight ends because we talked about Tanner Conner already. But Hunter Long with 2 drops today. He was clean all camp, had some decent plays, nothing really in regards to drops until today, but he's going to need a bounce back day, especially after a Tanner Conner breakout day. And I'm not trying to say that Tanner Conner is coming for Hunter Long's job. That's not, they're not really in a roster battle for a spot, in my opinion. But we got to bring back that Mike Gesicki talk again, though, because with him playing on the franchise tag and the uncertainty both during the season this year and after next year, what's that tight end position look like? Obviously, you got Long, if a guy like Tanner Conner can break out, but you always need more than one body at the position like that. So we're going to want to see a nice bounce back out of Hunter Long. Got to believe that he can do it with how he's looked all of camp leading up to today. Let's talk about offensive line because the one thing that stood out today from offensive line was a few more bad snaps between Connor Williams and then the quarterbacks, whether it was Tua or not. But Connor Williams stayed after practice with Tua and they worked on those snapping. And you'll see why, because I've got a video here of one of those bad snaps, but it's a little bit twofold because Tua shows really good poise and makes a really good throw on this as well. I'll probably show this one twice as well. But you can see the throw goes to the right, by the way. The snap is high. Miami's blitzing. The guy comes off the edge, essentially untouched. And granted, I know that Tua knows in this situation that he cannot be hit, so it's a little bit easier for him to make that throw. But it's supposed to be an RPO. The play is completely thrown off by how bad that snap was. And then he is able to hold his poise, be able to make that throw to Waddle. It's actually Waddle on the completion. But now that you've seen it, you can have another glance at it. But this guy's going to come completely untouched, poised to step in there and throw it. Kind of reminds you a little bit of the play that he had to Albert Wilson in the Ravens game last year, where Albert Wilson was wide open, but Tua had to kind of go through the RPO fake just to get it out to him there. But as you can see, that is why Connor Williams and Tua stayed after practice. But let's jump into some running back talk because Salvon Ahmed, credited with one of his better days of practice, with his best play coming on a swing route from Teddy Bridgewater, who also had a really good day that we talked about. But on the negative side, Saquandre White had a fumble. Positive side, Jarek Dokes had a receiving touchdown. But what this is telling me so far is there's so much uncertainty behind basically Edmonds, Mostert, and then you could potentially add Michelle in there, who I think ran for a touchdown today as well. But it's one day Zaquandre White is receiving a touchdown and it's Dokes with a drop. And then the next day it's vice versa. It's like we need to get a little bit of clarity. We would really like to see at least one of these guys jump up and be that guy, whether it's Gaskin, whether it's Ahmed, whether it's Dokes, whether it's White. Trying to get a little bit more consistency behind those three guys in just regards to depth. Are any of those guys going to make or break this season at the running back position for the Dolphins? No. But you still want depth because you never know when injuries are going to happen. You never know when your name is going to be called. So we'd like to see a little bit more consistency there. But I want to talk also about Preston Williams because we talked about that yesterday, how he went out and said, I'm not getting enough opportunities. I need my time to get targets as well. And I don't think this was calculated by any means, but he went through all of team drills today without receiving a single target. And that's with Tyreek Hill getting the day off. And like I said, I don't think that was strategic by the Dolphins coaching staff whatsoever. Tua's going to throw the ball to the open guy. Skylar's going to throw the ball to the open guy. Teddy's going to do the same thing. What I think it is that he's not a great fit in this offense. He doesn't get the separation that these other guys get. He's not as open. His number is not being called upon, likely for that reason. So he's not getting the catches. And overall, I've talked about this before. I like Preston Williams. I think he's good in certain offenses, not this offense. So I think we're coming close probably to the end of the Preston Williams era with the Dolphins. Let's talk a little bit about the defensive side of the ball as well, specifically two things. I want to talk a little bit about coverage, but I want to first talk about sacks. We hit it on it earlier. Tua holding onto the ball a little bit, taking a few sacks. Miami Dolphins had sacks from Jaylen Phillips, Christian Wilkins, Emmanuel Ogbah, and Sam Eguavoen today, with Jaylen Phillips getting 2 of those sacks. And I want to focus on Jaylen Phillips here for a second because we have seen him get these bunches of sacks both his rookie year and so far in training camp. But now in training camp, it's becoming more and more consistent with him either getting pressure or getting to the quarterback and finishing with the sack. And granted, all these sacks are would-be sacks. You're not hitting the quarterback. But it just makes you think coming into this season, if Jaylen Phillips can truly emerge into that hand of the dirt, or even in the 2-point stance, coming around the edge and with his various array of pass rushing moves, because he has a lot of them. He's got a lot of good moves that he can get home with. But if he can continue to do this on a regular basis, that means the Dolphins can maybe be more strategic with when they run the zero blitz, because you're not dying to have to get this immediate pressure on the quarterback. You can be a little bit more strategic with it because maybe you can get home more often with 4 and leave more in the secondary being able to play in coverage. I think we're all hoping for that Jaylen Phillips double-digit sack season. And even if it doesn't outright come in sacks, we know as fans what he is bringing to this team in regards to outright quarterback pressures, hurries, and hits. So hats off to Jaylen Phillips there. And then what I want to close out on, Channing Tindall went step for step down the field today with Cedrick Wilson, an outright wide receiver, 40 yards, and broke up the pass on a pass from Skylar Thompson. But why this is important is because Channing Tindall has that makeup of a linebacker with how athletic, with how fast he is. He should be really, really good in coverage. But I've talked about it before, numerous videos. You can go back and check it out. In college, he never really excelled at it. It was never his calling card. But what we had talked about, the coaching staff seeing that athletic profile, know how he's built, know what he's able to do, he should be able to figure this out. And it looks like the coaching staff is getting that out of him. That is huge. And granted, it's one play. We gotta hinder it a little bit, but that's a slot wide receiver, a veteran slot wide receiver that he is hanging with. So, like I said with Ezukanma, show me those flashes. You don't necessarily need to be the best player on the field every single day at practice, but show me those flashes. Show me that you belong, and show me that you can be trusted when you are on the field. And it's plays like that with Channing Tindall, showing that, hey, I can do that. I'm going step for step with a NFL wide receiver for 40 yards. That speed is unmatched right now with what we have on this defense. But that's what I've got for today's recap, Dolphins fans. Let's hear your thoughts on how today went in the comments. And then I think we have an off day on Thursday, but whenever the next practice is, I believe it is Friday, we'll be back with another recap video. So until then, Dolphins fans, fins up.